Hi you guys, it's Lindey. Okay, I'm doing it. This has got to be like the most requested video I've gotten to date. How to package and ship liquids. Okay, I'm doing it. We're gonna do this thing. Okay, so I have various items that I sell fairly regularly that I am going to just package up to show you guys. These items in particular haven't sold. These actually just sold yesterday or this morning, one of the two, probably this morning. It's gonna be in my next sold video, but this one is actually going out today. But all of these others are just stuff that I have in inventory that I just grabbed, and I'm just going to package up so you can see how to do it. First thing, before I start packaging everything for you guys to see, there is something that I wanted to just briefly talk about. So I show you guys that I do ship a lot of liquids. I ship a lot of things like shampoos, body washes, conditioners, barbecue sauces, hair detangler, stuff like that. And I get a lot of comments and a lot of emails from people informing me that I'm doing it incorrectly, and I'm telling you guys to do it incorrectly. That anything liquid, anything that has any fluid, any kind of anything, has to go ground only. It has to go UPS ground, and that's it. You cannot send it USPS priority, you cannot send it parcel, you cannot send it first class. That is not correct. And before I made this video, I wanted to make sure that I was not giving out incorrect information. So yesterday morning, I spent, not even kidding you, all morning on the phone with the National United States Postal Service. And I talked to 2 representatives and a supervisor just so that I could clarify, because I want to make sure that I'm not doing something wrong. Because first of all, if I am doing something wrong, I don't want to get stuck with a fine. That's gonna suck. If something leaks or something goes bad and it gets traced back to me and I get fined for sending prohibited items through the United States Postal Service, those are some serious fines. That's not just like a $50 ticket. Those are, hundreds, thousands of dollars and possible jail time. It's ridiculous. So, I did call them. I spoke with a supervisor. I spoke with representatives. I've already spoken with people behind the desk at my post office here in town, and they've told me things, but I wanted to be extra thorough. So I called the national office and talked to somebody. So, and this is what I found, okay? It's exactly what I thought, but I'm just going to reinforce it here. Things like this are perfectly fine. They're okay to send in the regular mail. You just need to take proper precautions to make sure that they don't leak everywhere. Because if they leak everywhere, it's gonna cause issues, and they didn't tell me this, but I would assume that you could get fined for messing with other people's packages and damaging other people's packages, and you don't want that to happen. Nobody wants to get in trouble with, federal things, right? So the only things that you cannot send is anything flammable. If you have hairspray or something like that, if you just look on the back and there's a warning that says flammable, you cannot send it that way. You have to take it into the post office, you have to tell them what it is, and you have to let them select whichever service you need to send it, whether it's ground or they have to put it on a special truck or whatever. You need to inform them if it's something flammable, because it is prohibited and you might not even be able to send it. But for this kind of stuff, really the only precaution that you need to take, other than packaging it in a way that it's not going to leak, is to maybe just give it to the postmaster or the person behind the desk at your post office and tell them that it's a liquid. That way, if there's any special stickers that they need to put on or any precautions that they need to take on their end, then they can. But I will tell you this, every time I take these into my post office and I tell them, hey, this is a liquid item, do you know what they do? Nothing. They don't treat it any differently. And I even asked the national office why that is, or the national call center, wherever, why my post office wouldn't put any extra marking on the package. You know, I already put a fragile sticker on them, so maybe that they just figure that that will suffice. But I asked the national call center, why doesn't my post office put like a liquid label or something on it? And they just simply said that they just don't handle them differently. So some post office might put special labels on, but like mine does not. Mine apparently doesn't seem to think it's that big of a deal. So, and then the same goes for food items. I also, since we were already talking about the liquids, I made sure to ask them about the food items, the perishable items. And again, they said it doesn't have to go ground. You can ship it regular mail. He did say, though, if it was anything, you know, obviously perishable that was going to expire within a couple of days, that you'd want to send it priority express, just because you don't want something to start rotting in the middle of transit. But I mean, really, if you're shipping goods that you got from a store, or, you know, gum or snack crackers, they have, you know, a 6-month plus shelf life. So sending them regular mail is not going to hurt. They don't have to go express. So, and then again with food, same thing with these. When you go to the post office, tell the person this is food. That way, if they need to put a fragile sticker on it or put it with special packages so that they can do their thing, then you've got yourself covered. But as for food and liquids, it can go regular mail. It's okay. And feel free to call the United States Postal Service and ask them about it. You know, I was on the phone all morning with them. I sat on hold for a while. But it's okay. They don't have to go UPS ground. You just have to make sure you take proper care in packaging them. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to show you various things and how I would package them. Okay, so, and I'm so realizing that all of this is in the picture. I'm transitioning to a new office space, so it's kind of, ignore all of this, okay? It's gonna look pretty eventually, I promise. Okay, so the first thing that I'm gonna show you guys is these. They're just little Pantene scrunching gel spray. That's all it is. It's not flammable. I have double checked. It's not flammable. It's just hair gel, and it's sprayable. And see, now I'm double checking myself right now just because I want to be certain. Yeah, it doesn't say anything about being flammable, so we're good. It's not an aerosol or anything. So I'm going to show you how I would package these if I sold them as a set of 3. Okay, so the first thing I do is I grab the bread bags. You've probably heard me talk about these in my Cheapskates shipping guide. These are what I use when I package everything because they're roughly 2 cents a bag. They're super cheap. These in particular, since it's a gel and not a straight liquid, I would consider just putting all 3 of these in one. Realistically, it kind of depends on how you're feeling. But for these, I might just put them all in one. I might not worry about doing them individually. If I was going to do them individually, I would just use 3 separate bags and I would tie them off. But for purposes of the video, I'm just going to put them all together. And so I just squeeze as much of the air out as I can. And whenever I do ship things, I do put a little thank you business card in, and so I would put it in there with it as well. But for this, you can I would either tie a knot, or I would just take some tape and just tape it over. For this, since I have a little bit of the space, I'll just go ahead and tie a knot. It'll make it easier. Okay, so now these are sealed in there. Okay. Now I'm going to take bubble wrap. And for something this size, I'll probably use 2 feet worth of bubble wrap. It's the perforated bubble wrap, so 2 squares is 2 feet. Now we'll just sit in here like this. And just roll it up. I'm going to tape it up like this. Now what I'm showing you guys, this is exactly what I would do. I am acting basically like I just sold it and I'm going to be shipping it out. This is exactly how I would ship these. Then I'm just folding down the sides and taping. Okay, so now I have this. Now I wish that you guys could feel this. It is like, you know what? I don't even think I'm gonna use cardboard, because when you take this and you really push on it, these bottles don't squeeze. I mean, if you take them like this and squeeze, they kind of have some squeeze, but doing that, man, they really don't. So for these, I would use just a regular flat rate envelope. Okay, and don't be scared of these. These are not just for documents, okay? I ship jeans in these. I ship this kind of stuff in these. I ship lotion in these. I have heard people talking about how post office workers are cracking down on how thick these are. I haven't had any problems yet, so until I have any problems, I'm just gonna keep using them. So, like you just saw, I always fold this over just so it makes it easier to close. And I'm just gonna slip it in. And just for argument's sake, I always have little scraps of cardboard. Like these ones in particular came off the end of a diaper box, but it's just some scrap cardboard and I just keep a box of it. And you know, I would just stick one in the top and one underneath. But I mean, I really don't think that these bottles even need it, but I'm gonna put it in there just to show you guys. And then pull that off. And then I always start with the middle. And then I didn't bring them down here, but I do have fragile stickers. And so I would slip a fragile sticker right here. And then I would also, I'm not gonna do it, but I would also just take some tape and I'd put tape on each of the corners just to keep them from fraying off. But this is the package. See, trying to see if you can see how thick it is. It's not that bad, right? This is nothing super crazy bulky. I mean, it's a little crazy right here, just in that one spot, but that is how I would do the spray gel. Okay, so next we're gonna do these. These are big, right? They're the giant pumps. They're 34 fluid ounce of the Olay body wash. They're the humongous value size. These I ship in padded flat rates. So we're gonna do these next. Okay, so now for these, I'm gonna take the clear bags. Now these don't really have enough room to tie a knot, so I'm just going to spin it around. I'm going to take some tape. I'm going to tape up the top really well. What's nice about these pumps is they've never been cracked open, so they don't actively pump yet. So when you tape these down into place, it shouldn't move. So there's the first one. Okay, so we got both of them. They're both wrapped individually. Now I'm going to take the padded flat rate, and I'm also going to do 2 feet of bubble wrap. Now with these, how I'm going to put them in is I'm going to put them in like this, side by side. So when they are close to each other, this part does not squish. If they were laying this way, this part squishes. But when you lay them side by side like this and push them together, they don't squish. So I'm not going to worry about cardboard with these. I always do the squish test. But what I am going to do is I'm going to take this bubble wrap and I'm going to open the padded flat rate and I'm going to just slide it in until I have a little bit of give at the bottom and then have some hanging out like this. I'm going to take this and I'm sliding it in this way. Sliding this in that way. So they are both in there like that. They both fit in there perfectly. And then I'm going to take this part and I'm just going to tuck it in. Whoop, I heard a bubble pop. Whoop, my hair is getting in there. So now it's got the bubble wrap on it. Then I'm just going to take that. And then if I wanted to, I could put some more tape on the top here. But also, which brings me to my next point I forgot to mention, always put your labels on before you do this, because see how bulky this is? It'll be hard to put your label on. But feel that? There's like no give to it. This package is good. This package is good. I have shipped them like this many times before, never had any leaks, never had any problems, but I do put a fragile sticker on here. So that's how I would do those big, huge bottles of Olay body wash. Okay, so now we're going to move away from the padded flat rates, and I'm going to show you what I would do if I just had like one little bottle of something. This is just the Aussie Hair Insurance leave-in conditioner. I do sell these just individually. They're just like a spray, leave-in conditioner, whatnot. So I'll show you what I do with these, since this is not going to go first class, or I'm sorry, this is not going to go priority. It'll just go first class. This is what I would do. Okay, so for this, I'm just going to take a bread bag. And if they will fit this way, I always fit them this way, because if you stand them straight up, that's just going to give it room to leak. This way, you can really squeeze the bag and use the force to keep the caps on. You see what I'm saying? So I'm going to twist it up and knot it. That's all sealed up. And then for that, I'll probably only use 1 foot of bubble wrap, just because I don't think it needs more than that. And then when I roll these, I don't know why, but I always tend to do it diagonally like this. I don't know if I feel like it gives more coverage or not. There we go there. Sorry if the sound of this tape is just like annoying as all get out. Make sure a lot of the bubble wrap is around the cap, so it's got a lot of protection. So that's wrapped up really nice with bubble wrap. I'm just going to take a poly. Drop it in there. And again, you want to put your label on before you do all this, because it'll make it all lumpy. But then I would just seal it up. I'm not going to do it now because I haven't sold it, but then I would just seal it up and it just goes like this. That's it. Again, that's how I've always done it. I have never had a leak. Pretty simple. Okay, so next we're going to do this 3-piece set of this giant shampoo bottle and these 2 smaller bottles. Alright, so we're just going to take a bread bag. If I can find the open end. Just like with the body wash, just going to stick it in. Spin the top. And again, the pump is not activated, so it's still nice and closed. Some tape on there so it's nice and sealed. And then with these, I don't see the need to individually wrap these because they are both still sealed. they still are completely sealed. So I'm just going to put both of them together in one bag and call it good. If they were opened, then I would probably individually bag them just in case one of them leaked. It wouldn't get the other one, but they're still factory sealed, so I don't see a reason not to. And then I'm going to turn them on their side at the bottom. Spin them. And we'll knot them up. And we're going to do the similar thing, kind of like we did with the body wash. We're going to take 2 feet of bubble wrap, stick this in here to where we have some hanging out. Just pat up the bottom a little bit. And really you're just going to have to feel what you like. I'm going to try just sticking this in here. I mean, really, I'm not doing anything special. I'm just sticking it in. I'm just going to see how it fits. Just do what you're comfortable with. And I'm going to stick these in, kind of maybe lay it to the side, kind of see if they go, oh, okay. So now for these, I'm just going to turn, kind of like I did with the body wash. I'm going to take the big one and I'm going to turn it straight, and then I'm going to put, hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing. I have these 2 bottles laying up against the pump. And so then, I'm just going to take the bubble wrap, and just like with the body wash, I'm just going to tuck it down around it. And then again, you want to make sure you put your label on before you do this, because trying to stick a label on with it being a little lumpy, you might have some creases in your label. There they are in there. Now, you could or you could not put cardboard. I'm going to put cardboard just to show you that you can. So again, just some cardboard scrap that I have. I'm just going to stick one in the front. And I always put the cardboard in last because it also helps to push down the bubble wrap against everything a little bit. So put in that side. See that? Kind of has like a Mox box effect. So if it were to get squished, oh, you got the box kind of look on it. However, I might have decided to trim these off a little bit, like take maybe an inch or 2 off of the end, because the box, the cardboard is going to make it a little hard to close. Just for, you know, purposes of saving time, I'm just going to go ahead and do it. I would probably pull the cardboard out and trim the ends off if, actually, here's the funny thing, this is going out today. I'll just do it anyway. And I'll slap my label on after. Because see, it'll still close. It just takes a little bit more effort. There we go. There we go. And since this is going out, I'm going to go ahead and reinforce. Because it is going out today. I have my label printed. It's upstairs. I forgot to bring it down. But with that cardboard, it's nice and smooth. So I'm not going to have any problem putting the label on since I already put everything in there. So, and I wish you guys could feel this. With that cardboard in there, it really does almost feel like a box anyway. Yeah, nothing is going to happen to these. And I will slap a fragile sticker right on the top. And there's that 3-piece Aussie set in there ready to go. Okay, and then the last thing I wanted to show you guys how to package is a lot of shampoos and conditioners that I tend to sell quite often. Usually if I'm going to make a good profit on something like shampoos and conditioners, because 1 bottle will go first class, but 2 bottles has to go priority. But rather than pay $5.90 to ship 2, why not pay $5.90 to ship 4 and up your profit margins? So usually whenever I do shampoo and conditioners, I usually do sets of 2. So shampoo, conditioner, shampoo, conditioner. So this is how I would package up a lot of 2 sets of shampoo and conditioner. Okay, so for the interest of saving time, I went ahead and just individually wrapped these, just as you'd seen me do. If you see with the bread bags, it's like, as long as you slide them in widthwise, you have plenty of room to tie it off, and it's gonna stay pretty closed. There's like no room for this puppy to open. It's closed. So, same thing that we've done before. I'm gonna pull 2 feet of bubble wrap. And one thing that I try to do with these shampoo and conditioner bottles, you can see like the top is wider than the bottom. When I do stick them in here, I try to stick them in as uniform as possible. Like if I'm putting these two in together, I wouldn't set them in together where both the wide ends are at the bottom. I would probably try to do it more like this, so it's more uniform. The wide part is over here and the wide part is down here, just so it fits a little bit neater. So that's just something to pay attention to. Try to pay attention to uniformity so you don't have like a super duper lumpy package. But, so, I'm going to put the wide side in first, and now I'm going to put the narrow side in, just so that it stays fairly even widthwise. And then I'm going to take shampoo, and I'm sticking it in on top. Taking this one, sticking it in on top. We got, so you can't really see this because there's no cap there, but it's 1, 2, 3, 4. The same thing that we did with the others. You're just going to take this in and you're just going to start tucking it in. Tuck, 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 tuck it in. All 4 are in there. They're all wrapped up really well. They've got some extra bubble wrap, some extra cushion. A couple of scraps of cardboard. Slide one into the front side. Slide one into the back side. And honestly, I'm not sure if this needed cardboard, but if you're never really certain, just slip a couple of little pieces of cardboard in there. See how that is? It really adds some support to it. And we're closing it up. And then again, I would just stick a fragile sticker on there so that they know that this should probably not be crushed. Whether or not they listen to it, I don't know. But so that's how I would do a set of 4 bottles. It fit. Okay, you guys, so I've been trying to proactively think of all of the questions that I'm going to get about this. First, no, I don't have any leaks. There has been one time where I have had something leak in the last year that I've been selling liquids. The instance was it was a package of 5. Not 4 bottles of shampoo and conditioner, but there was 5. And it was like a child's 3-in-1 shampoo, conditioner, and body wash. And they were smaller tubes. And I guess something had happened and one of the caps had cracked during transport and it leaked, but it only leaked a little bit out. And it wasn't even that big of a deal. The buyer just sent me a message and said, hey, one of them leaked. And didn't even ask me for anything. And I was like, well, you know what? I'm going to give you a 20% partial refund because 20% would be 1/5. You know, they had 1 out of 5 bottles leak. So I just gave them a 20% partial refund. They were perfectly happy with it, left me positive feedback. I haven't had anything else leak. If anything else has leaked, nobody's told me about it. So they always arrive in good condition. I always get positive feedback, people saying that it was packaged well, that they're happy that they were able to find that special shampoo that they were looking for. So that's how I've been doing it for a long time. I've never had any postal workers give me any problems. I've never had anybody tell me that things have arrived damaged or anything like that. So that's how I package that kind of thing. Unfortunately, I didn't really have any liquid foods. Maybe I'll do a separate video on liquid foods, but really it's the same kind of thing. Treating liquid foods like barbecue sauces or salad dressings or stuff, it's pretty much the same kind of deal. So I don't know if I'd really need to do all that. But that's how I do those. I'm trying to think of any other questions that I would get. Other than, people maybe questioning whether or not it should be going ground. But, if you guys aren't comfortable sending it priority or first class or whatever, feel free to contact your own post office, call yourself and double check. But I've double checked over and over and over again. I've talked to my local people. I've talked to the National Call Center. I've talked to supervisors, and they all tell me the exact same thing. The only things that you cannot send regular mail, just like I showed you, is stuff that's flammable. Hairsprays or perfumes or anything that says flammable on it, pretty much. Those you have to take special care. Those you need to take it to the post office and tell them, hey, this is flammable and you need to take care of it a certain way. But if you're just sending out that kind of stuff, you can just hand it to the postman and say, there's liquid in here, or to the person behind the post office counter, it's over here. And then something else that I did want to mention too, that I do get comments on, because I do sell a lot of this liquid kind of thing, is people commenting, is it worth it for, a $3 or $4 profit to have to go stand in the post office line and so on and so forth. Because, you do have to let them know, and you can't just have your post guy pick it up and have them be none the wiser. But the thing with that is I have to go out to pick up my son every day from school anyway. And I have a post office that is really small that is right there on the way. So I never even have to wait in line. I usually just walk up to the counter and I'm like, hey, so perhaps if I was in a bigger city where I had to wait in line for 30 minutes, yeah, waiting in line to mail a package to where I made a $3 profit might be kind of a pain in the butt. But for me, it works. It's fine. It's not a big deal for me. So, but yeah, so that's how I ship those liquids. If you guys have any other questions about how to ship them, I hope I answered all the questions, and I hope that you learned something from watching me do it. You can just leave them in the comments below and I'll try to answer them as fast as I can. My email is in the video description. And if you like this kind of video and you want to see more like it, give me a thumbs up so I know. If you haven't subscribed to me yet, I hope that you will. And thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you. Bye.